People are prepping now more than ever. And in the worst economic climate since the Great Depression, Americans are in budget like never before. How can you be prepared for pennies? That's where we come in. $20 or less starts now.
Hey everyone, welcome back to 20 Bucks or Less. I'm Bill Doris.
I'm Daniel Mounts.
And what inspired me to start this channel and to get my brother involved was about a year and a half ago. I've been into prepping and survivalism. We've been into it for roughly
years.
Yeah, for 3 or 4 years. But what really got me inspired to do this channel was I was tagged about a year and a half ago to do the $20 bug out bag challenge. Now, coming up in future episodes, we're going to go to a ton of different retailers and show you what kind of bug out bag or the shit hits the fan bag that you can put together.
Zombie apocalypse, whatever the hell happens.
We're going to show you exactly the best places to go with 20 bucks because I am the firm believer that no matter what your budget is, you can have something, and something
is better than nothing.
Exactly.
Period.
So we're going to but a lot of things with these bug out bag, $20 bug out bag videos that you saw that were real popular for a while, where they would go to one specific store. Most of them were the dollar store and a few were at Walmart. Okay. We're going to show you a lot of different retailers and a lot of different options that you can check out. But what we did want to show you was what we did put together about a year and a half ago. Now, we're not going to tell you the stores we went to just yet, okay? But we went to one particular thrift store and we went to one particular retail store. So let's take a look and see what's inside. This was in my bag, or this was my car bag, okay? Now I'm going to have to do some rethinking and some redoing because as you can see, the water has leaked out of the bottom.
Because now we're down to about 3/4 of a jug, and that's not good.
That is not good. But we're going to cover these items. In other words, what we're saying is that I messed up. So make sure you rotate your stuff. Make sure you keep check of your stuff. Okay, so that's my fault. So we're going to get into the stuff right now that we purchased between a particular retail store and a particular thrift store and combined it for an under $20 bug out bag. So let's start with, first and foremost, yeah, ladies are going to be like, what are you doing with that? Well, wait a minute. Right there. Maxi pads. Daniel?
They're great for everything. They're sterile if you get a cut, and you're starting bleeding, whatever it is. You take one of these out, they're already sterile, they're in an individual package. You put that on a wound, tape it on, it'll soak up the blood, you're not bleeding all over the place. It's just a great, inexpensive way. It's a great, inexpensive bandage instead of actually buy Band-Aids. If you have a good maxi pad, you don't need gauze, that's all you need.
Yeah, it's a fantastic alternative for a wound dressing.
Yes.
Yeah, very inexpensive because we got this entire pack for, well, here we go again. We got this entire pack for under $1. Now, unfortunately, because of the leakage, I'm going to have to toss these out, but I'm only out $1. But yeah, these things are.
By the same token, take these out of your bag for a week, let them dry out. You're not out a buck, you still got them.
Okay. All right, let me tilt this up a little bit because we're taking stuff out of the shot.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, it's not you at all. It's me. It is all me. Okay.
Damn, that me really. That's like 5 minutes.
That's bothering me.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at it run. We may have to wrap this up pretty quick.
This is as far as it'll go. It won't go back any further.
Oh, okay.
Because the garage slopes up this way.
Gotcha.
So we're good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, when it comes to survival, there is the rule of threes. You can live 3 minutes without air, usually about 3 hours without shelter, depending on the conditions you're in, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. So we tried to cover all of these going in, and that's going to be our basic rule for every bug out bag that we show you for 20 bucks or under. So let's address the shelter.
Okay.
Okay, because when it comes to air, there's just not situations,
Unless you're buried alive in a closed casket, you're going to have air.
Right.
Might be a concern.
and if you're buried alive in a closed casket,
Your ass is grass anyway.
none of this is really going to help you anyway. So, or if you're drowning, or
Yeah.
all right, let's move on to happier thoughts. All right, we're going to cover shelter, and these are drop cloths that we bought. They are 9 foot by 12 foot, so even a big, tall guy like me. They were 50 cents a piece. You can make a lot of great shelter out of this.
If nothing else, if you just want to make a simple tent, you take 2 sticks, stand them up, drape this over it, try to tack it down on the sides with some other sticks. It'll keep the rain off of you. If you can get a fire built and keep it toward the tent, you can stay warm. Very, very simple. $1, you can build 2 tents if you have a family. Anything with just these 2 things and some sticks.
Plus, on top of that, we got here a bunch of nylon or polypropylene twine. It's 3 pieces total. It is a grand total of 148 feet for $1.
That will go a long way to making tents, mending any clothing if you're in a survival situation in the woods and you need to mend fishing. Regardless of what you've seen on fishing shows before, all you need is some line. That's it. If you put a line in the water and you dance it the right way, a fish will bite on it.
Okay, now let's step up to water, which is going to be the next thing you need.
Yes.
Now, the thing with water, of course, as you saw, we got a little over a gallon here. It is 1 gallon. Okay, that's going to last you for 72 hours, which I think it's important that we reiterate that the $20 bug out bag should only be designed as a 72-hour at
Yes, at best.
Okay, so let's reiterate that. So, but just in case, the gallon, you run out, you can ration it to longer than 72 hours. What we have here, this is probably going to be the most controversial item we have. This is just your standard sports water bottle. We picked this up for $1. Now, the thing is, it does have this coating on the outside, and it's got a little bit of the coating on the outside. Folks, I'm telling you now, you go to, Daniel has a pond out back here.
Yes.
You go and you take this, you put that pond water in it, you set it on fire, okay? You light that thing up. It's going to burn off the coating and all of that, but more importantly, you're going to get that water to boil to where you can drink it and use it.
And I want to go back to this bottle, which we actually obviously lost some, our fault. What we should have done, you can go to any major retailer, any minor retailer, and get the water that comes in what looks like a milk jug.
Mm-hmm.
The plastic is stronger, it will last longer, it won't leak, and surprisingly enough, if you can build a fire and hold it high enough above the fire, it will take longer, but it will still sterilize the water so you can drink it and reuse the bottle.
Okay, so we got that covered. We're going to step it up to the next rule of threes, 3 weeks without food. So we got a pack of ramen here, and a lot of people, they say, well, you got to cook the ramen. We're going to get to that in just a second. Give us just a second on the ramen. And of course, we got granola bars here, pretty filling. For 72 hours, I think we got it covered.
Yes, I agree. Ramen is going to be one of your best bets. It does have a shelf life, but for the most part, until you can find another source of food, 1 bag will fill most people up and will run them for almost a day. So if you can eat 1 bag of ramen noodles, you're going to be good for, I'd say at least you have to stretch it 8 to 10, maybe 12 hours before you can find another food source.
And I think it's important to mention that, as kids growing up, we did, this and mac and cheese kept us alive sometimes.
Okay. And you can actually eat this dry. Mm-hmm. It's not as good, obviously.
No, of course not.
But if you're trying to ration your water, you can eat this dry. Save your water to drink.
Yeah, you just take the bag, you crunch it up, and then you take the flavor packet, pour it in there, shake it up. You've got chips.
Exactly.
The only bad drawback to ramen it is super unhealthy for you, but in a 72 hour survival situation, you're not so much worried about the sodium.
And the good thing is it might be high in sodium, but it's also really, really high in carbs. And if you're on the move, you're with your family, by yourself, and you're trying to get through the woods, you're trying to get through anything and survive, you need the calories, the carbs, all that to survive. So it can actually be your best friend and your worst enemy at the same time. If you have water to drink, drink it. Don't boil it and throw it in here. Eat these dry, drink the water.
Exactly. Good call. Way to go. All right, now we're going to get into some of the accessories. Bungee cords, enough said. Believe it or not, this is a pretty craptastic machete. But we picked this up, believe it or not, for under $1 at the local thrift store. It was amazing. Now we do need to do some cleaning and some sharpening, but you're not going to get a machete for under $1.
By the same token, you're not going to find these at your local thrift store every day.
We got lucky because we went to a particular thrift store
that we knew had some items like this, but you're not going to find these every day. But check them out once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. If you stumble upon it, pick it up. It's not going to hurt your feelings to spend $1 on it, and it's going to be ready to go.
Short lesson here is shop around.
Shop everywhere. Even if it's a mom and pop local general store in your neighborhood, neck of the woods, whatever, check them out, see what they have available.
Flea market.
Flea markets are great. I'm a huge fan of flea markets. We have a rather huge one here in my hometown. We love it. We shop there on a regular basis. You cannot go wrong with flea markets.
Let's stick with the blades. Now this is, it's the Fabware blade that, I don't know if you can see the logo or not, but this is Walmart brand. This is a high carbon steel knife, okay? Almost like the Tonto action thing going on with a great rubberized handle. Is this the ideal survival situation knife? No, but once again, at a particular thrift store, we picked this up for 50 cents.
Yes, and it's going to do everything from fillet a fish if you catch it. If you do happen to catch a rabbit, any kind of wild game.
If you need to stab a mutant zombie.
Yeah, is it going to cut through bone? No. But if you need to fillet some meat off to cook over an open fire, if you just need to cut some of your nylon twine, it'll get right through it. It's going to do what you need it to do. And if you do have one of the magnesium fire starters, which we're going to cover later on, you can use it to actually start the fire with to save your life.
Now this is another blade that we just picked up because it was, I think it was 10 cents or a quarter. We just picked that one up just to throw it in there for comparison. So, and that's a homemade sheath we made out of cardboard and duct tape. Speaking of duct tape.
Yes, sir.
No bug out bag is complete without duct tape.
You have to have duct tape, and this is actually a particularly small roll. Relatively inexpensive. It was what, 50 cents?
I think so.
And if you want to upgrade and go with more, you can. Harbor Freight Tools is a great place. You can get a 6-pack of this stuff for like $3. Duct tape's great for everything. Get duct tape.
Okay, and then of course we picked this up for, I think this was $1 or $2. It's a multi-tool. Everybody knows what a multi-tool is.
Yes.
Real quick and easy. Fishing line, we picked that up. You can tell it's in, the label's in rough condition, but the fishing line's fine.
Yes.
Fishing line, so many different uses.
There's 1,000 different uses. We can't cover them all, obviously. It's fishing line.
Okay, in the interest of time, we're going to get into our last part. We mentioned earlier about cooking the ramen. We picked up this pan where you can boil water and cook your ramen or cook anything else.
Yes.
For $1. And that's a great pan.
Yes. It's an actual bread pan. If you got time to make bread, by all means. If not, throw some ramen in.
Okay. And then we've got 16 unscented candles for light and or keeping a fire going, $1. And in here we've got triple antibiotic ointment, super glue, ibuprofen, a little bit more on the medical side of stuff. Plus we put it all in a watertight Ziploc bag with extra matches. Now, here's the thing, and I'll be real quick about it. If you can get lighters instead, because this particular store didn't sell lighters at the time. But if you can, lighters, you're going to get more uses out of them and probably last a little bit longer. So if
Yes.
you can, get the lighters, but matches will do in a pinch.
Yes. I agree.
Got to keep them watertight.
Watertight. If the matches get wet, unless they are waterproof matches, you have to let them dry out, and that can take hours, maybe even days, depending on how wet they are.
Now, of course, we don't have the receipt, but believe it or not, we got all this for just over $19.